mouth shapes. So I went to Google and I put mouth shaped drawings, and I found a couple that were pretty nice. And these worked out to be the best right here. So as you can see, this mouth shape represents A, this represents O, this kind of almost a smile represents T and S. And if you just sound out these letters, you can see the different shapes, F and V. So what you want to do is you want to have a bunch of drawings that represents these letters. Also, the same thing with blinks. So if you want to have, you know, I blinks drawings. Here, not the greatest ones to find. Here, maybe I need to find some more examples of that. But let's go into the directory because I've already got something already established. So if I bring up my project directory, so in animated textures of a face, and then in my project directory, I have all my images and source images before I bring them into Maya. So that's always a good thing, you know, to work. Just always put your textures in your Maya project directory first, and then bring them into Maya second. Always better to work that way. Now, as you can see, I've gone in here and I've gone and made I00. So if I click on it, it's blank. But if I go to the next image sequence, so again, same name, but 01, eyes are open all the way. Here's 02 coming down. If I go to 3, this can almost be kind of like a sinister eye, you know, kind of glaring at you. This one's even coming down even further. Kind of gets a little difficult, especially when you don't have a highlight. And then number 5 is all the way closed. And then this one is just actually the whole thing I referenced and kind of redrew right there. Then I did the same thing with the mouth. Mouth 00, nothing. That's blank. And then I have a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And each one represents a or S or V or O. And what I did was I made a little notepad to tell me what each image in the image sequence of the mouth represents what letter. So 01 represents AA or A's. 02 represents E's. 03 represents I's, and then La is represented by 08. S is represented by 09. So I went in there and I made sure, you know, and kept track of what mouth sequence went to which consonant and vowel sound. So it's really important that you come up with a system like this so you can keep track. So what I'm going to do inside of Maya is I'm going to use blank, A, E, O, all these different letter sounds, and put that into the actual drop-down menu inside of Maya to use to represent these different image sequences. So I'll move this over, and that's what we're going to do over here. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to change green to blank. So I'm going to click on green, come down here and type in blank. Now I'm going to click on blue, and I'm going to change blue to A. And now to make a new one, I'll click underneath, just right underneath blue, and make a new slot. So this represents E. And I'll click another one underneath that. This represents I. Click underneath that one. OH. Ooh. OH. Click underneath that. U. Oh, come on. UW. Underneath that is going to be FV. MPB. And this is going to be law, I think. There we go. Click underneath that. And then the last one, S. Click underneath that. Perfect. So I've got them all in there, and this time I'm going to hit OK, and it commits it. And you can go down the mouth shape over here and click on it, and you can see all the different drop-down vowels or sounds and consonants that I have made. So far we're doing pretty good. Now let's start bringing in our textures. I'm going to make sure I select the ball geo and make sure that Maya can draw textures in the viewport. So we're going to come up here to the top and make sure texture is turned on. And we're going to add a new shader to this geo. So I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to say add favorite material. I'm going to use a blend, but again it comes in pretty shiny, so we're going to come over to the end, go to blend 1. I'm going to rename this face shader, and down under specular shading I'm going to increase the eccentricity to about midway, take the specular roll off, drop that down about 1/4 away, and specular color, drop that down about the same, and then also reflectivity, drop that down a little bit. So this should be pretty good. We won't get too much shine happening there, but we do have a little bit of control if we ever want to bring it back in. So this pretty good place that we got here. Now we need to start bringing in the textures, and then from there we start connecting them up to our facial controls. Now we're on the shader for the face. I'm going to go to color, click on the little input box. We're going to bring up the file node. In here we're going to go to filter type. I'm going to set this to off so it doesn't blur the image too much. I'm going to go to image name, go to the folder, and we're going to bring in the I first. So I001, hit open. And again, we're not going to see anything because right now, if you remember, there was I00 represented nothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go use image sequence. So right down here, we're going to click that on. And you saw something kind of pop up there for a second. And we're going to go to frame offset. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to change it from 0 to 1. You can see that works. If I go to 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's bringing that image sequence in correctly. So I'll drop that down to 0. It's working perfectly. All right. Now we need to bring in another image sequence in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the shader. There it is. And I'm going to break the connection for this color. Right click on color. So I'm going to the word color, right click and say break connection. So I've broken it off. I haven't deleted it, I just broke it. And then I'm going to bring in the actual mouth texture in. So I'm going to go back and redo it again. So click on the input box, go to file, and I'm going to drop this from file type to quadratic to off, image name, options box. And this time I'm going to go to mouth 00 and open it. I'm going to use the image sequence, and then in here, frame offset, I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I think there was 7, 8, and 9. That all loaded in pretty well. I'll put that back to, put this back to 1 so we can actually see it. Now, we've got 2 separate images that we brought in, but the shader is only displaying one at a time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the Hypershade and do some modifications so we can actually show both textures, the eyes and the mouth, at the same time on the same shader on this object. So I'm going to come up to the top and I'm going to click on this Hypershade window. This is going to come up right here, and you can see this is our face shader right here. I click on that and I'm going to right click and say graph network, and you can see what has come in. So here's our 2D placement node. Here's our node with just the face connected to it and the shader. And if we go to textures, we actually have 2 different types of textures. One's going to be the mouth and one's going to be the eyes. So I'm going to click on file 1 and I'm going to rename this eyes text. Probably put in capital T. That looks pretty good. There we are. And then I'm going to select on this file 2 and I'll call it mouth text, or you can call it texture, whatever you want to call that, and I'll click off of that and it renamed it. So now we've got 2 textures.